back to It's a Miracle Beauty. My name is Brandy and I am a beauty YouTuber who does pan challenges and things that are about utilizing what you have versus buying more as a general thing. I do buy new makeup at times. I'm not on 100% no buy. However, I do try to concentrate both my content but also my life towards using what I have versus consuming more. I have been pan challenging again. I have in the past, again, since the beginning of this year, and I have found that I'm actually using up more makeup in my current system than I ever have in the history of me having this much makeup, which we're going on like close to 6 years at this point. So that being said, for heads up, this is the same intro you'll see in all three of my pan challenges this month. I do this every month. I do have autoimmune and other issues that make it difficult for me to film a huge amount of videos. So any way I can create shortcuts for myself, I do that. Once you see this once and you understand what it's about, or if you already are used to mine and you want to skip to the content, I totally understand. If you are new here though, I do not pan challenge in the sense that everything in a pan challenge is meant to be used up completely and finished. A lot of my stuff is, like I call it, use the damn stuff. I want to utilize more and more in my collection versus just using what's in front of me. So if I pick, in this case, I think I have 53 items in my challenge this month, and every month pretty much. I have 53 items. I easily could only use those items and never touch the rest of my collection at any point if I only utilize those. So I have some rules for myself. I set a number of times I'm to use it every month. That is the minimum. There is no maximum. If I'm loving a product and I want to use it 31 days or 30 days or whatever, I absolutely can. The only rule is that minimum. The other thing is that I typically don't rotate into new makeup or non-pan makeup 7 days a week. Sundays are always my free day. And then once I get through the month and I've hit most of my minimum uses, I can use pretty much whatever I want. But a lot of times I end up using my pan challenge with other makeup. I don't ever just give up completely on the makeup I'm panning. The last thing I'll say is I'm thinking about, and I haven't confirmed it yet, but I think in the month of August, which is my birthday month, I'm going to set aside my pan products, but I'm not going to pick any minimum number or minimum number 1 because it's my birthday month. I kind of want to just have fun in my collection and use whatever I want to use, however I want to use it. So that's what I'm thinking right now. This is my end of May, beginning of June update on my pan challenges. So I have about another 60 days to figure that out. So I probably will. Last thing before I get started is you may see me get even more shiny. Now, I personally love looking like a glazed donut because I have dry skin, but it is very hot in my house. I was hoping to film about 2 hours ago before the heat picked up. I film in my walk-in closet and there is no real ventilation in here. So we technically have air conditioning with central air, but it doesn't reach these 2 rooms, my bathroom, ensuite, and my closet very much. I typically have a fan running all summer long, even though we have the air on. So creating more and more electrical use. The other thing is we're actually trying not to turn on the air yet. Unless this gets unbearable and humid, we're trying to use ceiling fans, standing fans, etc. until we get there. We recently replaced our air conditioner, so it should be a lot more economical, both energy usage and pricing, but I just would like to wait as long as I can. So that all being said, if you like what you see, I hope that you'll like, share, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications, or actually it's ring the bell for notifications. I don't upload on the same time on the same day every week or every month, so you can miss videos if you are not subscribed with the bell on. So all that being said, let's get started on my... Hi, welcome back to It's a Miracle Beauty. My name is Brandy and I am a pan challenger / beauty YouTuber that prefers to concentrate on what we're going to utilize versus what we're going to buy. By not buying as much and concentrating on what I own, it has helped me process or pan more items than I ever have in my entire panning life, which is close to 6 years. So this is my last pan challenge of this month. This is the end of May update, and this is what I call my panning a full face, even though it's not always a full face. Sometimes it's a little bit skewed, a little bit of duplicates. This is 20 items that I have in a rolling pan. If you haven't watch the intro and you are new to my channel, I do suggest you watch the intro. It does give you an idea of how I do my pan challenges. So that being said, let's talk about what I've been panning this month. So the first item I have is my Rose Ink Dream Blush, and this is in Camellia. This is one that, much like the bronzer, if you saw that video, was drying out and was not having a lot of longevity to it. So I'm not going to buy any cream products from them even though I think their cream products work amazing. I have too much in here that is actually going to go bad as I use only one product. That all being said, if you look, it is sweating pretty well. It's hot here in Michigan today, and since I've been utilizing it, it has been drying out less, and I do have a pretty big dip in this. Let me see if I can get it in the light. There we go. Pretty big dip in it. So I have confidence I'm going to be able to use the majority of this before it expires, or at least put a really big dent in it. So we're going to keep moving on that. Next, I have what should have been, and I think I say this every video, it should have been my Pan That palette this year, but it wasn't. I abandoned that project entirely because I chose the ABH Sultry palette, which I hate. But this is the Carly Bible palette. I actually own 2 of these. I have this one, and then I have a new one that's not been used yet. And I've hit quite a few pans in here now. So I've had 1, 2, 3, 4 pans so far, and I have one for sure that's very close to hitting pan, and then one that's etching its way there. So this is one I'm leaving in. I enjoy this palette. It's my favorite palette I've ever owned in my entire life, and I utilize it probably at least 10 days a month, because when I'm half asleep and I don't want to think about it, I know that palette like at the back of my hand, and I know how those shadows work, so I do grab that pretty frequently. Next thing I have is the Balm Luminizer. This is not from when they originally released it, but it is old in my collection. I think it's from like 2020, maybe 2019. And we do have some disruption, but not a lot of use yet. I mean, there's a little bit of a divot starting, like not much though, like if you look, and we're just going to keep working on that. One of my favorite products I've ever owned in my entire like makeup career is the Oma Stick Bronzer. I like this because, and I'm only panning the bronzer, it's now almost to below the end. It's very emollient and it's very easy to blend. And I am a lot of times half asleep. I get up at either 3:30 or 4:30 to get ready for work. So I'm oftentimes really drowsy when I do my makeup, but that is all we have left. So we've killed a lot of this. I know this will not last the year, but I don't know how long it will last. I have no idea. We'll see. We're just gonna keep working at it. Next, I have a bunch of Hourglass products. Hourglass, as we know, is very expensive. So it was one of mine is to put it in. I left one out when I did my makeup, so I had to go grab it. So we had the Incandescent Hourglass Cream Bronzer, Incandescent Strobe, Travel Size, Blush in Radiant Magenta, and the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Palette. So I'm just going to go through all of these kind of quickly, and I'm leaving all of them in. I'm just giving you a progress update. This one we've gotten below, so it's definitely working. There's so much in this product. I can't roll it all the way up because this one too is separated, but there's just so much in this product. I'm leaving it in for now. I truly enjoy this product. It looks good. It blends in well. Hardly ever disrupts my makeup. So that one, this is the Incandescent Strobe. This is one that's a big product. So if you look really close, I'm starting to see some disruption in the surface. You're starting to see cracks and things like that. So that one's definitely seeing progress, although it's a slow moving with big products. This one has a little bit more. So I want to pull back just so you can see there's a huge crack that was starting previously and is now fully across it. And then this one is the one that has the most progress. This is the Ambient Lighting palette. I love this palette. I absolutely would repurchase this palette. So it does look like this. I have to watch for the light. I have to balance how close I move it. But it does, you know, I want to be able to give you a close up. So the white one, or the whitish color, is almost completely flat. The other ones, especially this, almost like a bronzer. It's not a bronzer shade because it is a lighter color, but I use it with my bronzer to set my bronzer sometimes. That one definitely has some more cracks in it. So that one is moving along great. One that I'm really proud of, I had witnessed somebody like repressing their cream NARS thing, and I was like, why did I not think of that? Like I kept getting pissed because my brush kept like moving it up along the walls. So after I panned it the entire month, I actually did repress it, and I am kind of shocked at how much really is left in there, because when it was all up on the sides from my brush, it looked like I had a ton left, but really there's not. That's like less than halfway. So that one's one I'm definitely leaving in, and I truly enjoy that product. This is one that I've had for quite a bit. I didn't really appreciate it or enjoy it, and now I'm absolutely loving it. So that's one I'm definitely going to leave in. Next is one that I actually would have thought I would have got a little bit more use out of, but I haven't been, and that's the Glossier Stretch Concealer. This is in G12. I really should need G11. I have it, but I haven't opened it yet because I want to pan this first. Got it during Black Friday's like sales. Glossier doesn't do a lot of sales, but they do the Black Friday. And this one, and this is another one that it's all up on the sides, but if you look, there's a big divot down the center. I may end up repressing that, I'm not sure. One that I am, actually I have one more before I talk about the one I'm going to take out. So I had the Huda Beauty. This is in Marshmallow or 2B. I've been enjoying this. It's not my favorite one I've ever used. I have to be careful how I use it to make sure I don't dry it out. My under eye, this does work really well when I mix it with the Kosas and then put it on, because this is firmer and that's more like moisturizing, so they balance each other out. That one is staying in. The one that I'm taking out, and it's not because I don't like it, I actually really love this product, but this is the Huda Beauty, not Huda Beauty. Okay then, this is the Fenty Beauty How Many Carats, and this is one that's supposed to be a highlighter. Let me see if I can get this so that the mirror isn't reflecting you. This is supposed to be a highlighter. I use this 100% for a lid topper and it looks fantastic. I still will utilize it when it's out of the challenge. I enjoy it. Coming into the challenge is going to be my Kosas lip oil. This is one many moons ago. I bought the Kosas oil foundation or oil tinted moisturizer. And this, I think from like Neiman Marcus or Saks, one of those two. We have a pretty nice mall by us that has like the more higher end stores. And I was in there and I saw it and I was like, oh, you know, I'm going to try that. So I tried this then. I didn't realize at that time who Kosas was, that they were a more green brand or natural brand or whatever. So now I'm worried that this is going to go bad. This, I think these, a lot of people have love-hate relationships. I love this. It's about halfway or less. I'm looking at it now. It looks like it's probably about right there, so a little bit less than halfway. But I'm happy to move it in. It does not bother me at all. It's one of the ones I love. So far, it's showing no deterioration, no smell, no odor, no change. But I want to get it before it has that problem. Next is one of my proudest achievements this month. We're like edging towards halfway with this. This is the Ciate London Watermelon Burst Primer. If you have dry skin, this is an amazing primer. Like if you look, I'm actually past that line now. Like we're getting close to halfway. So that's one I'm really happy with, definitely keeping that one in. Another one that I've been really happy with that I hated prior to painting is the Pat McGrath foundation. I realized I don't like this on its own. It needs a firmer counterpart to be with it. So the Good Apple, the Reboot, any of those, the Make It Forever stick, and this works fantastic and lasts all day. It looks fantastic. Doesn't dry out my skin and also doesn't age me when I use it with something else. When you use it on its own, it tends to sink into everything. So I don't like it on its own. Next is one I'm actually pulling out as well. And this is the Catrice Eyebrow Gel. This one is not bad old anything. It's still quite, you know, usable. I just don't want to spend time on a Catrice when I can move in a higher name product. So I am going to move in, it's technically two products, but I'm counting them as one because I want to be able to interchange between them. They're both very distinct colors and it could be difficult to pick one and utilize. I'd look like I had the same eye color all month. So I'm moving in my Danessa Myricks. These are the Color Fix foils, and one is in Mermaid and one is in, where is it? Jewels. So this one I've worn quite a bit and I've gotten a ton of compliments on. I'm just going to bring it up. It's a duochrome of sorts, and then so is this one. So I'm moving those in. I'm counting these as one product because I want to be able to alternate between them and get use out of both of them. Next is the Tarte Blush Palette. This one I used maybe slightly more than what I put on my sheet, but not much. I only really am enjoying, so funny to me, one color in here, and it's this color right here. I've been loving this. It's like an orangey terracotta, like with a shimmer built in. The other ones, it's not that they're bad. I just have tons of colors like them, so I don't reach for them. So I'm probably gonna lean towards just painting that shade more than trying to pick some of them. I'm probably gonna do that because I think I'll have more success if I just work on one shade. Next is the Huda Beauty Tantastic. I had been unsure if this was going to be good when I moved it in. And so I did move it in. I did use it a handful of times. I think exactly 5 actually. Yeah, 5 times. But if you look very close, it's very dried out. It just doesn't want to blend. So unfortunately, this is going to be a declutter into the garbage because it is old. And that's part of the risk you take when you do buy products in these amount of quantities. And that is why I pan challenge. So unfortunately, I was so intimidated by this when I first got it because I mean, if you look, it has, what do they call that? Oxidized some. It's darker than when I first got it, but it's still pretty dark even when you look at the brand new one like in Sephora. So I was intimidated and I didn't realize how to properly utilize it. So now that my skills have increased and I'm more comfortable with creams, it's bad. So I am going to go ahead and throw that in the garbage after. I'm going to include it in my empties so anybody who doesn't watch these can see it and then it will go. In its place, I am rolling in my Kosas Cloud Powder. This is the Cloud Set. I've noticed that these oxidize over time, and so I don't want to not be panning this when I can. And it also gets hard pan. If you look at mine, quite a bit of hard pan. I haven't been using it actively because the hard pan, quite honestly, pisses me off. So I am hoping to utilize this and get some more out of it. So that rolled in for the Huda Tantastic. My oldest bronzer I have, I believe, is my IT Cosmetics. This was my #1 favorite bronzer. If you look, it has almost like a hard pan, but it wasn't from, let me see if I can get it to focus better. It wasn't from actual traditional hard pan. So if you're not aware, hard pan typically is when you have a moisture base, whether it's foundation, you know, sunblock, whatever, and then you put your brush on the face and then the powder on the face and the powder, or even like a sponge. It can cause like a hard top that, you know, is hard to get through. So if you look, stuff comes out of my brush. This is like the weirdest thing I've ever seen. It might be actually expiring. I'm not sure. I'm going to keep working on it, see if I can kind of get through it, see if I can make it better. One that shocked the hell out of me. I put it in it, and I think even in that video I said I might just declutter this at the end of the month. I don't know. This is the Jaclyn Hill Blush Bronzer Duo. It does look like this, and these are Lilac Love and Top Tan is the colors inside. So I had previously, I don't think I ever used the blush previous to May, but I had used the bronzer and it just didn't even show up on my skin, and lack of color here. So I just figured it was going to be a bust. This has been absolutely beautiful. I'm stunned. So it's buildable. That's the key with the bronzer, is I'm used to taking one that I need to be light-handed and it barely put on and you can see it everywhere and things like that. This you need to build, which there's positive and negatives to both sides. Very pigmented, you can put too much and then ruin your entire makeup. When it's buildable, you have to sit there and build it. However, it is customizable more on that side. However, what really blew my mind was this blush. So recently I purchased the Clinique. This is Pansy Pop, and it is a lilac or a lavender shade, and this looks stunning on my skin. I would have never guessed that my skin tone could wear something like this. I always thought people with more melanin, whether someone who is a person of color or someone who's just dramatically darker than I am or tans better than I do, but these purple lilac pansy colors look amazing on my skin. So I've been enjoying them. This is definitely staying in. It's been a like underdog, can't believe I love it this much type of item. And the last item is my NARS Orgasm Blush. I think, if I'm not mistaken, this is probably my oldest blush in my collection. And it's not my favorite. It never has been. You can see quite a bit of disruption in there, and you can see quite a bit of like a little bit of a dip starting. When I first got into makeup, I use this quite a bit because everybody talked about NARS. Everybody talked about NARS Orgasm. It's the best color, it's the best color, it's the best color. Well, for me, it's just not my favorite. I definitely like the cool tone colors way more than I do the warm toned. So it's definitely something that I've had to learn to use in a way that makes me happy. However, that being said, I mix this with other colors and it typically gives me a really pretty look. So I'm going to keep trying to utilize this. So that is my last pan challenge video for the month of May. That's the end of May, starting June update. If you like pan challenges, I hope you'll like, share, subscribe. Make sure to ring the bell for notifications. If you don't ring the bell, you may miss videos, as I don't upload at the same time and the same day every week or month. And wherever you are, whatever you're doing, I hope you have a great day, and I hope I see you again soon, guys. Bye.